There is plenty of shared beauty between the state of New Hampshire and the province of Quebec. Rolling hills, vast lakes, and historic towns and cities. Yet there is something in the woods, in the trees themselves, a cultural bond that dates back to before any of us were really here. It is widely considered that somewhere long ago, by the Great Lakes region, a Native American or First Nations chief threw his tomahawk into a nearby tree, which began to bleed. As I'm sure you can tell where this story was going, that was the sap from a maple tree. The chief's wife then cooked some venison in the sap, and the rest is history. There is no written confirmation of when or how maple sap was really discovered, but this is the most accepted story. The Algonquins recognized maple sap as a source of energy and nutrition, and eventually spouts and shacks sprouted up, revolutionizing the way maple sugar is produced now. Jacques Cartier is said to be the first colonizer to try syrup, and wrote many good things about it on his journeys in the 15th century. Now a regular commodity and staple of the Northeast region and Quebec, and seen all over gift shops and tourist resorts alike, it's hard not to notice everything maple-related. After all, Quebec is the #1 exporter and producer of maple sugar, and New Hampshire spares no lack of maple sugar shacks itself. Now, though, with the current political climate, social disdain between our two nations, and an overall extreme lack of tourism here in New Hampshire, this got me and some peers of mine thinking. How has this affected the maple sugar industry in our region and in Quebec as well? Within our search for research, we met with a professor here at Plymouth State University who is deeply involved with sugaring at his home in Maine. We had not only the chance to interview him, but to speak and attend an event hosted by Dr. Tim Losey himself. Set up in a field by a group of maples, he showed us the process of sugaring at home and how easy it can be for one to do it themselves.
I don't want this to boil over, so I might light it in a second. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to carefully drop this in. The dial's going to rise. I won't waste it.
I'm going to try some genuine homemade maple syrup. We watched it get made in front of us.
You guys want to sit back? I'll bring it back here. And I'm going to tap the bottom, and then I'm going to let it go. Oh, look at that, you guys. So it says hot test, 211 degrees, and it says on the Brahm measure, see the red right there? The red says, 60, or about 59 bricks, which is the measurement there. So we actually might be a little bit over, because as you can see, if I push this back down, see how it jumps right back up? I'm gonna do it gently so I don't break it. But it's actually below the red line, and I actually think it would be above the red line if it wasn't ready. So I actually think just in a couple seconds, I think this was probably further along than I thought it was. So I think this is actually ready. So it tells you that it's a little over ready because it's a little bit beyond the red, okay? And the cold test is the blue line. So
although maple and its production isn't necessarily threatened by the current political and social climates, it is still very important to remember the connection that keeps us stuck together as a province and a state. And although it's sappy, at the end of the day, like the sap from a tree, we are still technically the same.